Hey y'all. All right, back for part 2. So, I already did the video. I did the prayer in part 1. If you haven't seen part 1, please go on my page and find part 1. It has a lot of information regarding Christian veiling. What is this? Why am I wearing it? What does God say about it? And yeah, so please take your time and go see part 1, but we're gonna finish up right here during part 2. So we just finished reading of course First Corinthians, and then we went to First Timothy's. Now we're back to First Corinthians, and we're gonna read in the study Bible part, and then move on to Ephesians, and then we will wrap this video up. Alrighty, so we are back on First Corinthians, and we are looking at the study Bible part. It is referring to 11:10 when it is talking of because of angels. Evidently, God's angels are present at the meetings of the church and actually learn of God's work of grace through the lives and worship of God's people. Then it tells us, let's go ahead and flip to Ephesians. All right, so we have flipped to Ephesians chapter 3, and we are going to look specifically at verse 10. All right, so it says, to the intent that now the manifold wisdom of God might be made known by the church to the principalities and powers in the heavenly places. Alrighty, so I have read this like 4 or 5 times, and the study Bible is helping me out with this. Alrighty, so down here it says 3:10, manifold wisdom. God's way are not only mysterious, but also varied. Angels are also learning about God's wisdom as they watch his grace working in us. And guess what it tells us to do? Go back to First Corinthians. All right, so we are now back in First Corinthians chapter 11. Please go down to verse 10. So it says, for this reason, the woman ought to have a symbol of authority on her head because of the angels. So let's rewind a bit. So we read verse 5 through 6. And so I am just going to back up just to verse 8. For a man is not from woman, but woman from man. Verse 9. Nor was man created for the woman, but woman for the man. So then verse 10 goes in to say, for this reason, the woman ought to have a symbol of authority over her head because of the angels. So I don't know if you remember how we were just flipping to Ephesians and then back, but it was saying how the angels are there present at our sermons, meetings, whatever you want to call it, and they are learning what God is providing through us. You get it? So I'll read it. Because of the angels, evidently God's angels are present at the meetings of church and actually learn of God's work of grace through the lives and worship of God's people. Go to Ephesians and read down where it says God's ways are not only mysterious but also varied. Angels are also learning about God's wisdom as they watch his grace working in us. Wow. Okay. So nobody know what God got going on. Of course, the Holy Trinity, they got it. They locked in. But the angels who are protecting us here, they are also learning like how we learning, baby. I don't know about you, but I get hype about this Bible. All right, so just want to read 2 more verses. So we're going to jump down to verse 13. We're in 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 13. So, is it proper for a woman to pray to God with her head uncovered? Verse 14. Does Does not even nature itself teach you that if a man has long hair, it is a dishonor to him? Verse 15. But if a woman has long hair, it is a glory to her, for her hair is given to her for a what? Covering. In case you didn't hear me because my clapping, covering. All right. Then the chapter goes on to say, verse 16, but if anyone seems to be contentious, we have no such custom, nor do the churches of God. So, you wear your covering, sis, if you feel God is telling you to wear your covering. I had got convicted before, and it was a minute ago, and now I'm bringing it to light because I just want to share. And like I said in my prayer, I hope that this reached who it needed to be reached. Okay? And I hope that this served who it needed to be served. Now, I pray that you have a blessed morning, evening, and night. Wherever, what time, whenever you are watching this, just know that Jesus loves you and you are extremely gifted in other things. You're also valuable. Mwah. Love you. Bye.